Okay, my son started seeing a developmental optometrist right when he was 4 years old. He had what they described as convergence deficiency, which meant that his eyes, if you were to throw a ball at him, the ball would kind of just land right at him. His eyes would not converge, right? He could never see things coming right at him. So we were introduced to Dr. Steve Gallup. He's got a great reputation working with kids and has a real innovative approach and gets real good results in terms of treating kids with this with a number of really eye and neurological related challenges which my son had. And so Dr. Gallup, seeing that Vinny was interested in music, Vinny had an interest in music from a very young age, suggested Joe Romano. He was friends with him, had done a lot of work in the vision and music area with him, and we jumped right on it. Okay, well, Vinny's first interest was really with the guitar. And I talked to Joe about maybe guitar lessons, and Joe had said, he's a little young for the guitar. Let's start out with the piano. And so he came over, introduced Vinny to the notes, chords, putting notes and chords together. We could see kind of from the start it wasn't going to be the kind of stereotypical traditional old lady music teacher coming over there with Mary Had a Little Lamb and reading the notes, all that stuff. We knew it was going to be something different from the start and something that's going to be a little cutting edge, and we're really excited about that. One of the things that Joe talked about early on was the connection between the eyes, the ears, and the brain. And we kind of caught on real quick. And one of the things, and Joe detected this early on, was Vinny's keen sense of hearing and how it all kind of tied into what he was processing up in that little brain of his. And what we would see is that Joe, and we were, we're from a musical family, but we don't know that much, was that Vinny was able to identify notes, specific notes, without looking at them, without being told what they were. That evolved into him identifying chords, fairly intricate chords, different volumes, different tones. And it turns out within a year, with Joe really kind of working at him in kind of subtle and very creative ways, Vinny ended up with, or didn't end up, but it was revealed, Joe brought out perfect pitch, which, Vinny just has this ability to hear any note, any chord, and identify it. It's really it's a rare gift that Joe brought out in him. Now, my son had an array of therapies. Occupational therapy was one of them, and we never really thought we'd get the benefits of that from a music lesson. But as you might, if you think about playing the piano, it involves your eyes, your brains, and both hands. And Joe really knows a lot about this, and what he helped develop with Vinny was kind of that bilateral coordination. You have to use your left hand. Your right hand has to know what your left hand's doing. You have to see. You have to use your brain. You have to hear, and they all have to kind of pull together. And that's stuff that Joe and his program really, really brought out in Vinny. It was great, and continues to be great therapy.